who you guys are familiar with. Brian does a good job, creative guy offensively. Plus, he's got Mike Kafka there on top of that. Mike's a sharp kid. And defensively, they've got a good scheme. One we've played against a couple different times when Shane was at Tennessee. So it's a good bunch there. So, anyways, with that, time's yours.
So it sounds like that you were expecting Xavier and Royals to both practice in some form today?
Yeah, they'll practice today.
How is Royals coming along with that name?
He's coming pretty good, yeah. Yeah, we'll just see how he does here. He's been out for a while, so I'd like to see how he moves around.
Yeah, I think for myself, just being better at executing in some of those earlier moments in the game especially. I mean, there was guys open, obviously Noah early, but even more than that, just if I kind of sit in that pocket a little bit longer, trust those guys, get the ball to guys down the field, I feel like we can make some more explosive plays. And so that was stuff I scouted on myself. But no, we're going up against a good defensive team this week, especially that D-line. And so finding the right moments to take those shots downfield, but not taking the negative plays as well.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's Thursday, September 18th, 2025. All right, this week is flying by. I'm ready for the weekend. How about you? Lots of rain in Kansas City this morning. Hard rain on the way to work.
You're gonna eat lightning and you're gonna crap thunder.
I feel like it. Yeah, I've already been doing that, buddy. That's right. And how about those Royals, huh? Huh? I know it doesn't feel like it matters now.
How about those Royals, huh?
Because it really doesn't, but, you know.
Oh, it does. It matters. How you end the season.
Yeah.
A little bit.
No.
No.
It just depends on what your perspective is. If you're, coming off a playoff appearance and that's what you were expecting, and now they're pretty much already eliminated, then if you throw your hands up and say, I don't care about these games now, I'm not going to get mad at you. I mean, it matters for me because I'm battling for championships in rotisserie baseball. Hell yes, it matters for me. But most people aren't doing that. And, when it did matter, the Royals lost a lot of games down the stretch. I mean, they went into last night losing 7 of their last 9 games. So, was it nice to see him win last night? Sure. I mean, okay. But just in the grand scheme of things,
The relevance. It's not incredibly relevant.
didn't matter to me. So if I'm being too negative, I apologize.
No, you're fine. It's disappointing.
It's like, where was this last week? But, Matt Gutierrez is going to say the right things, and you want to see the team compete down the stretch, and you want to see good performances by some of the young players. Try to build some momentum in the offseason, although I don't know how much that matters. But they did end Seattle's 10-game winning streak. So they got that going for them. Yeah, that's the way you close the show, you know. And so even if they would have won a few more games, I mean, they're still 7 out. I still can't believe they fell that far out. Good God. But look, Seattle they were super aggressive at the trade deadline. They were real hot after the trade deadline. Then they dipped a little bit, and then they caught fire and won 10 in a row until they lost last night. So, and they've elevated to the second spot, and they're still battling for a division championship. But yeah, sure, it matters. You know, if your goal wasn't the postseason, if your goal wasn't the playoffs, you know, if you're into participation trophies and I-trides, I've done that. I did that most of my life with the Royals. I'm over that. You know, I only got a couple years left on this earth. Let's go. Playoffs, postseason. Come on.
You got more than a couple.
I don't know how many I got. I'm not going to count my chickens.
Don't count them chickens. We're hoping it's more than a couple.
I want postseason appearances. That's it. Why shouldn't that be the expectation?
It is now. It absolutely is now.
You know? But I'll certainly take this over 100 losses.
Yeah.
I'll take this over 95 losses. I'll take this a chance for them to finish over 500. It just takes a while to adjust from, I hope they make the playoffs. I hope they make the playoffs. I hope they make the playoffs. Oh, they're not going to make the playoffs. Oh, I hope they win some games at the end of the year. You know what I mean? There's a transition period.
It's disappointing.
And maybe I won't appreciate these wins down the stretch until after the season's over. But I am appreciating what Salvador Perez is doing.
Yeah.
I am appreciating what Carter Jensen's doing. I am appreciating what, you know.
Good to see Cole Reagans get back out there.
Yes. I'm not totally sure why he's back out there, but it's good to see him back out there. He worked hard to get back. Like, you couldn't stop him midstream and say, oh, we might not make the playoffs. We're going to shut you down.
Right.
He worked really, really hard, and reward him by getting him back on the mound. And then, you know, I guess you feel better about him being healthy going into the offseason. You know, you've seen him pitch.
Absolutely.
He made it all the way back. And then you know what you've got to trade, because you got to trade pitching for hitting, because I still don't think they'll be able to go out and or they'll be willing to pay what it would take to get a proper bat in the outfield. And so the path to improving the offense is going to come from a trade. And I think pitching is what you've got to trade. So, Salvi hit home run number 29. Hit 3 ribbies last night, so he's 1 home run and 8 ribbies away from a 30 home run, 100 RBI season.
Thank you, my friend.
Writing another chapter in his Hall of Fame career. So, Reagans last night, 3 2/3, 1 hit, 2 runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. And so, again, good to see him back on the mound. And I will say this, one troubling note that came out of the game. We're talking about pitching. In the last couple of days, I've talked to Bluma and Boddicker about the depth of the Royals starting pitching and what they might have to, as far as what they might have to trade, the pool that they might have to trade from. Because they do have a nice, a really nice projected rotation for next year. There's some ifs in there. Cole Reagans, if he could stay healthy. Once Chris Bubich gets back, you've spent the money on Seth Lugo, if he can return to being Seth Lugo. Well, I just threw 3 ifs out there. Well, hey, nothing's a sure thing, but possibilities. Michael Wacha, Noah Cameron off his fabulous rookie season, and the 2 guys they acquired from the Padres, Bergert and Kolick. That's real good depth there to choose from, to give yourself a really good starting five. And if you keep them all, then hey, as we've seen this year, you need more than 5 starting pitchers to get through a season. Hopefully the injuries won't be as plentiful next year as they were this year, but there's nothing wrong with having that depth. But also, if you have a deficiency in offense, you need to trade from your strength and starting pitching. It seems like guys that are capable of pitching at the major league level, that's a strength, and they could maybe move one of those guys for a corner outfielder. But the negative that I'm telling you about from last night is one of those impressive arms that we've liked watching since he was acquired, Ryan Bergert. About 2 hours before first pitch, he felt, brace yourself if you've heard this before, right forearm tightness during his bullpen session. And so now he's going to be placed on the 15-day IL today, according to Matt Quintero. And then Michael Lorenzen will slot back into the rotation on Friday against the Blue Jays. Quintero said right after we talked pregame, Bergert got hurt in his bullpen. He's going to go on the IL. We had to pivot in the game plan of Lorenzen throwing multiple innings because he'll start on Friday. Further testing will be done on Bergert's forearm to determine severity and next steps. But the IL placement will end his season. And as Andy Rogers writes, the 25-year-old has emerged as a legitimate rotation option for the Royals' future. After the Royals acquired him along with Stephen Kolick for Freddie Fermin at the July 1st trade deadline. And this kind of explains why Bergert hasn't looked very good his last couple of starts, right? His ERA is a 4.43 ERA across 8 starts for the Royals, but that's inflated by his final 2 starts in September. He allowed 11 runs and 7 1/3. But remember, in August, in 5 starts, he had a 2.54 ERA in 28 innings. So now, if you work your way backwards, like, oh boy, was he feeling something? And is this why he didn't look very good in his last couple of starts? And we've heard in the past, right forearm tightness can be an indication that there's an issue with the elbow. And so are we going to hear about one of these starting pitchers we're excited about having to have some type of surgery or even Tommy John surgery? So just, and it may be a while before we get any updates on that, right? Because his season's over and there's no need for them to update anybody, but that could be a slight little jab in the stomach, because Bergert was one of the guys that we were excited about for next year. And look, I know they just acquired him, but when you get pitching depth like this and you have trade chips, who knows? Maybe he could even be part of a package where they acquire a bat. They have to be creative. They have to think outside the box. All right? There's a handful of guys that they're not going to trade that are part of the nucleus, but outside of that, they should be willing to listen on a lot of different players. Because, again, the offense wasn't good enough. And they have to go out and improve the offense dramatically in the offseason. And so, fingers crossed, maybe it's not just when you hear the guy's, feel something in the bullpen, right forearm tightness, and immediately, okay, IL. Further testing. You're like, son of a... So, fingers crossed that Ryan Bergert's all right. If not, then that pitching depth that we've been discussing this week could already take a hit before the freaking season's even over. But good for the Royals. They ended the Mariners' 10-game winning streak. And making Jake very happy. And making me like, okay, all right. I'm still mad about the 7 losses in the last 9 games.
Yeah, it's understandable.
I'll get over it.
It's understandable.
I'll get over it.
It's not like I was doing cartwheels.
Were you?
No.
I'm going to be honest with you.
I'm going to sit there and watch
if you were doing cartwheels last night, then you got problems.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't. But I'll enjoy the Royals playing spoiler. I mean, they did the Astros a favor, knocked Seattle out of first place.
You really want to do the Astros a favor?
I don't know.
You like the Astros?
Not particularly.
I like the Mariners more than the Astros. I mean, I don't want the Royals to lay down and lose to anybody, but I'd rather see the Mariners do well than the Astros.
I just like to piss everybody off.
So you do like the Astros?
No, I mean, I just like the Royals winning.
Yeah.
And that just happens to be a repercussion of their win last night.
Today we'll talk to Joe Valerio, former Chiefs offensive lineman. We'll check in with Buster Olney from ESPN, our baseball insider. Adam Kaplan will talk NFL with us. Gary Dieter and Anthony Sherman will join us in the 8 o'clock hour. John Price will be with us. And also Jesse Newell from The Athletic. So a whole bunch of football with some baseball sprinkled in there from Buster Olney. And I just gave you some baseball right now. And I apologize if I'm it was a little bit too negative. But I'm just still...
It's disappointed.
Yeah.
It's disappointment. It's not negativity, really. It's just you're just disappointed. Expectations are good. You're allowed to be disappointed. I'm sure the Royals are disappointed.
Right. I'm not prepared to hear, like, Gutierrez talk about how they competed and when they just lost 7 of 9 when they needed.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
okay. You know.
But that's what he's gonna say.
I know. Right. I get that.
Yeah.
There's no, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like
it doesn't mean you have to enjoy it.
No. I did not enjoy the last 7 of 9
Right.
games. I didn't like that at all.
It's a gut punch.
But again, big picture, they have a chance to finish above 500, and they're continuing to try to build a winning culture. And if you get to a point where the good years, they go to the playoffs, and the bad years, they stay in it until September, and they are still right around 500, and those are the steps back, those are the dips,
Yeah.
then I'll sign up for that.
That's what we want.
Okay, as opposed to making the playoffs, every couple decades and losing thousands of games in between.
Right.
Because we went through that, and that's not fun. We've got some comments from out at Arrowhead. Andy Reid spoke to the media. We're going to hear some Andy Reid today. Also play some Patrick Mahomes, Creed Humphrey, Brian Cook, Josh Simmons. Travis Kelce, he talked on, can you believe that? He talked on his podcast. You saw that coming.
You're crazy!
And I guess, again, big picture, it doesn't matter whether he talks to the media after the game because we know we're going to hear from him on his podcast. Although, some people have been. I haven't heard you say anything about it. What do you say? Do you have any issue with that?
I think it's super disappointing.
That surprises me. I thought you would say, I don't care.
No, I do care. I do care. I think there's a principle that lies behind that. Being, being held accountable. Holding yourself accountable. And look, like you said, in the big picture, it doesn't really matter. But I think it puts a lot of criticism to sleep. We're not having this conversation.
Does it matter as an example to some of the younger players? There's young players that have not won a championship with this team that are new to this team, right? That haven't been here for several years.
Oh, absolutely.
And does it show? Like, if I have a bad game, I don't have to talk to the media.
Right.
I want to stay in the shower.
Yeah, I'm going to get out of here quick, and I'm not going to stand up and say, "Hey, look, that's on me. I should have caught that ball. That interception was the turning point of the game."
Do you think people care? Do you think Chiefs fans care?
Yeah, I think they do. I think fans just
that is a way of looking at it. Like if you're a player and you see one of the main guys in the locker room have a bad game and decide not to answer questions like, oh, so when I have a bad game, I'm not going to answer questions either.
Yeah, oh, yeah, it's setting an example. If you're a leader, you know. I mean, think about when Vinny makes a mistake. He stands behind that microphone and says, "That's on me. I got to be better. I got to do better."
I know he has to, but like Mahomes always, he's always there.
Yeah, I think I think there's a level of professionalism that goes along behind that with when you're being a leader.
I'm beginning to feel like, and hopefully I'll be proven wrong, because I know Stan was more on board with this, and other people talked about this more than I did. But then when I interviewed him not very long ago, I started to change my mind, and maybe this won't be the case down as the season evolves, but I think that I know that I underestimated how much this team would miss Justin Reed on and off the field and in the locker room. And I really think I noticed it in the locker room after the game on Sunday. And I just, he was always holding court in there, man. He was the guy.
Right.
And
Yep.
he was always accessible. He was always there to answer questions, win or lose. Players looked up to him. He was he was a willing mentor to a lot of the young players. And he's a damn good football player
Yeah,
too.
he was. Yeah, he was. Some big plays last year.
I think I'm guilty of just kind of writing that off and thinking all that, hey, that's just what the Chiefs do. And they got some young safeties. And guess what? That may prove to be right after they adjust to life without Justin Reed. But I will freely admit now that I was wrong, and I did not consider how much they might miss him, especially early in the season. Is that fair?
Absolutely. I think it's
you
accurate.
Boy, you love it when I admit I'm wrong.
I don't think that's an admission
You get
of
this,
fault.
but
or
you get
wrong.
this twinkle in your eye, though. I could tell.
No.
I'm right. You know what? I'm right sometimes, and probably more times I'm wrong.
I think it's just we didn't talk about it enough. I think we just didn't think about.
Oh, I didn't think, but no. I'm telling you, I didn't think it was that. I underestimated. I'm telling you, I underestimated how much they might miss him. And I think they'll, it'll come together. But it's also more like intangibles too.
Yeah.
He was a good leader, man. He was a good guy in that locker room. He's a good player.
Yeah.
And I think just sometimes we get too hyper focused on what guys do on the field. We don't think about dynamics and team building and things like that. It's all your precious analytics and war. Oh, you try to put war on
Me?
everyone. Yeah.
No.
Big analytics guy. You and Deebs, and they're running numbers.
I mean, yeah, that's look. It was big to sign Nick Bolton. It was big to get Trey Smith contract done. But when you look at the free agency that the Chiefs had this offseason, there's some room for criticism there.
Starting to wonder if that.
I mean, paying Elijah Mitchell $2 million to come in here.
Yeah.
Christian Fulton certainly hasn't paid off right now.
Yeah, down the stretch, are we gonna, as the season goes on, like, should they have given that? I know it's two different positions, but that Christian Fulton money, should that have gone to keeping Justin Reed? Who knows?
Right.
We'll see.
Right.
But they believe in their young safeties, and it's for those guys to prove that the Chiefs are right in that belief. Yeah, you question a lot of things when the team's 0-2, but I did have that thought in the locker room after the game, like, yeah.
Right.
First guy to be answering all the tough questions would have been Justin Reed right there.
I had that thought in Brazil when Tranquil and Jones were going at it. It's like, was Justin Reed was there? Is that happening?
I don't know. Good stuff.
Yep.
You're a good guy. You know your business. You know ball. Ball knower. That's what they've said since his Aquinas days. This guy knows
balls.
He's
Good
a
balls.
ball knower. Everyone says it in Overland Park nowadays. We'll take a break. Let's talk to Joe Valerio after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Good balls.
What's up, Kansas City? Stephen St. John here. for my friends at Diamonds Direct. That's where I shop when I want to make a purchase of something special for my wife or my daughters or even my sons or me. Diamonds Direct, you can go and ask for Angie, the GM, David, the store manager, or my good friend Tom. They're ready to help you and treat you like a VIP. And how about this month at Diamonds Direct, indulge in the jewelry you've always dreamed of with no interest until 2030. That's terrific. That's a rare opportunity to bring home extraordinary diamonds, wedding bands, and fashion jewelry with unmatched flexibility. But this exclusive financing event is available for unlimited time only this month at Diamonds Direct. Elevate your moment, secure your legacy, and do it all with no interest until 2030 at Diamonds Direct off 119th and Row. And when you stop by Diamonds Direct, please tell them that Stephen St. John sent you. Welcome back to New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Let's say hello to former Chiefs offensive lineman Joe Valerio. Joe, good morning. How are you? I'm doing fine,
Daughter's
Steven.
getting married on Saturday. So
what?
We got a big weekend. Yeah.
Your
Super
daughter's getting
excited.
married?
Yeah. If you want to see a 300-pound offensive lineman cry, you're going to see a lot of it this Saturday. So
Now, for people that don't know, how many kids do you have?
So I have triplets.
Okay, that's right.
We brought home in tow from KC. So they're 28, and our first daughter is getting married. She's our middle child by a minute. They're all a minute apart. Super exciting.
So this is the first one that's getting married?
First one that's getting married. Absolutely, yeah. So cool. She.
Oh, you're gonna cry like a baby.
I'm going to be a mess.
Right.
Going to be a mess. Everybody, this guy played in the NFL? I don't know about that.
But you approve? You like your new son-in-law?
Yeah. It's that old cliche. I'm not losing a daughter. I'm gaining a son. His family is wonderful. So
right.
Great stuff.
Congratulations to you and your entire family. That's wonderful.
Well, thank you. So, Steven, listen, it's not bad. Like we talk sports. We watch everything together. He's a great guy. And it's not bad for a guy whose last male housemate was a hamster named Snickerdoodle. So,
wow.
It's just it feels good to have somebody around we can talk about.
That's exactly right. Oh, by the way, at the game up in the press box, I met Jeff Fedotin at the buffet line. Shockingly, that's where I had a chance to say hello to him. I was going through the media meal there, but.
He said that to me. Yeah, we did the pod this week, couple pods this week. We do now like a immediate reaction on Monday, and then we do another one midweek. And he said that. He said he had a blast getting to meet you, and it was a real treasure. So
yeah, very very nice gentleman. I was happy to meet him, and I enjoy his work. And tell people again about the podcasts that you do with Jeff Fedotin.
Yeah, Believe in Chiefs, BLEAV in Chiefs on the Believe Network. You can find things on social media at Joe Valerio 73. We do it every week and have a blast doing it.
Okay, so here's a loaded question for you because there's been lots of different opinions about this from different people this week. So I want to hear from you. What is wrong with the Chiefs' running game?
Well, I think when I watch Isaiah Pacheco run, look, I love that he runs angry. It's a great thing. He runs like he hates the ground. We've heard all the sayings about it. I gotta be honest. I don't think he's patient enough. I don't know if he's patient enough setting up those double teams. Setting up the tackles and the guards to come off to the next level. He's not giving it time to develop. When you watch some of those old school running backs who started running the zone stuff, when you go back to the Broncos when they first started running it during their Super Bowl era. And that's what Alex Gibbs always taught us, that patience. Go back and watch film of Marcus Allen. He had a patience about him. And I think that's one thing. And who am I? I'm no running back coach, be critical of an incredible running back in Isaiah Pacheco, but I just don't think he's patient enough. I think we're seeing the same thing with Patrick in the pocket, which Jeff and I talked about on the pod before his press conference. We had said that there's a lack of patience between the quarterback and the running backs, where they're just not setting it up. And I made a bold prediction on our podcast. I feel like Kareem Hunt's going to start getting more and more carries. And I'm not taking anything away from Isaiah. He's a fantastic young man. He's a great player. But I just feel like Kareem Hunt has a little bit more patience, and I see him getting that 1 or 2 extra yards per carry that you need to wear a defense down and to give your offensive line a chance to set up the block so that they can start to maul and mash and get up there and take over the defensive front. So that's where I think it is. A long answer to a short question, Stephen. I think it's a lack of patience at the running back position, which has kind of leaked over into Patrick's comment of him needing to stay in the pocket longer.
What about getting some more touches for Brashard Smith? He was taken in the 7th round. They decided not to take a running back earlier in the draft, and we'll see if that turns out to be a bad decision. They did not look, there were some other running backs right around this price tag, but they opted to sign Elijah Mitchell. He has not been active for either of the games, and so he's not an option. But what about maybe getting some more touches to see if Brashard Smith can add some juice to the running game?
Well, look, anything this team can do to get a little spark back in the offense is going to be great because, while it's still Patrick's team, the heartbeat of this team is really, Steve Spagnuolo's defense. So we've got to get some mojo back, and trying somebody new, I double-edged sword for me, right? I mean, yeah, you're looking at a fresh look, seeing what they might have hidden there. That's a guy that's getting to know the offense because you really do need to start to understand the blocking schemes and the chemistry between the linemen as a running back. But Steven, I'm not 100% sure it's time to experiment. 0-3 doesn't look good, and it doesn't feel good, and it's not good. And I'd hate because they still got a gauntlet to get through the remainder of this first half of the season, and I'd hate to see them experiment with something and take the confidence away from Kareem and Isaiah, giving somebody else more touches who maybe isn't ready, maybe he is, but I just don't know if they have the luxury of making any experiments right now. They got to really work with what they got to get this thing back on track.
Okay, so you're the perfect person to ask you about this because you're in the Philadelphia area and you're a former offensive lineman. What's the talk been up there about the criticism of the tush push, and do you think it's warranted?
I think it is, obviously, because there. And I'm saying this completely objectively. I'm not saying this as a homer who lives in Philly, a homer because I love the Chiefs. Like I'm going to say it objectively. It's not. They're jumping. They're crowding the ball. They're getting off before the ball snaps, and it's no wonder it's been working. And if that's been happening the whole time, it's no wonder that it's been as successful as it is. Now, as an Eagles fan, what's happened here in Philly is they've kind of gone silent on it. And you know how when people they kind of admit guilt with their not wanting to address it or be silent about it.
Yeah.
Like they're not like overly coming out and saying, "Oh, get out of here." They're not. It's just kind of like, okay, well, let's just kind of see what happens. Nothing to see here. Move along. And that's kind of like what the fans are doing with it right now. Because in their minds, I think they do all know if you're going to follow the rules are being broken. Like the guys are jumping before. If you want to throw the flag at Juwan Taylor for jumping just a teeny little bit before he gets off on a rush end, then you're going to have to do it in this same scenario as well. The play itself, if you keep all the rules, I mean, it's stay within the rules. I never had a problem with the tush push if you stay within the rules because not everybody can run it. But if we're starting to see a reason why it's been so successful because they're hiding the ball and they're able to move and before the ball is snapped, then we're starting to see a little bit of a chink in that armor.
Joe Valerio is our guest. Joe, you mentioned not wanting to go 0-3. That would be very difficult to bounce back from, and the negativity would be flowing here in Kansas City. And so you've got the New York Giants as the next opponent on Sunday Night Football. Russell Wilson had a big game. Malik Neighbors had a big game. But they lost still to the Cowboys. Cam Scatterboo is the guy that I was hoping the Chiefs would draft, and it looks like maybe he's going to get some more touches, so he's a unique running back to watch. And they do have some talent on that defense. So I'm curious what type of challenge you think the Giants pose to the Chiefs. I feel like if the Chiefs play a clean game, don't turn the ball over, they're better than the Giants and they should win. But I'm not taking anything for granted right now because they're 0-2. So what do you think about this matchup?
Oh, I'm glad you're listening to the podcast, Stephen, because Jeff and I said the same thing. It's a +2 turnover ratio for the Giants to win this game. I think they got to get 2. They have to go +2 in the turnover margin to really have a solid chance of beating this team. But, however, where I see the Giants' biggest opportunity is actually on defense. They have, and I mean this in the good sense of the term, they have a nasty rush. And I mean that good for the Giants. I mean, and I'm more worried. Burns and Thibodeau and Carter on the edge. They rotate those guys through. They're fast. They're a little undersized, but they're fast. They get to the quarterback. I'm more worried about Dexter Lawrence inside. I think he's a 3-time NFLPA first team All-Pro. I mean, he's going to give Creed Humphrey all he can handle, and I think if they get that push in the middle of the pocket, they'll be able to use that speed on the outside. It's going to be loud at MetLife Stadium. It's not going to be Arrowhead loud, but it's a night game. It's the Giants' first home game, so Is Juwan going to have a hard time hearing? Probably. And, if they get a little jumpy on the outside, that gives those outside rushers, especially Thibodeau, a distinct advantage. And then you get the push from Dexter Lawrence up the middle. Then what do you do, right? Then I think hopefully, hope shouldn't be a strategy, but I hope it keeps Patrick in the pocket, because he's even admitted that. He's got to stay in the pocket. So that's the matchup I'm watching. I'm watching, the O-line versus a really potentially nasty Giants pass rush. And I think on that side of the ball, I mean, offensively for the Giants, I mean, if Malik Neighbors makes one explosive play, he could flip the narrative, right? Because, and also I think the Giants need to do what every team who's an underdog needs to do. Threes got to become sevens, and then they've got to make the Chiefs turn sevens into threes, right? So they got to win the red zone on both sides of the ball. And that's how I think that's their recipe and formula for success, is if they can do that. But that's still an uphill battle. It's got to be pretty frustrating to be a 5.5 point home dog, and that's going to put a little chip on the Giants' shoulder too, because I think they're pretty much an improved team in the NFC East.
Hey, Joe, before we'll let you go, Jake and I have been started watching the new HBO series Task, from the same guy that wrote Mayor of Easttown, and it's in Delaware County. That got that Delco accent. We watched that. That's the Joe Valerio accent.
Those long O's.
I know. Are you watching this? Because that's right in your wheelhouse.
I haven't had a chance to see it yet. We've been doing a lot of wedding prep and getting ready and working. But I got it. Listen, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna get my hoagie.
That's right.
There it is, right there.
The long O's.
Right? Come on, it's great. It comes out when you're back. When I spend a lot of time with my high school buds, oh man, it's like you think I was in the show. I should have gone out for an extra.
That's exactly. I'm gonna go home. That's exactly right.
Home?
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, it's the best. I mean, it's smacked ass. Hey,
yeah,
so
that's a good one right there.
that's a Delcoism right there.
It's a really good show. You'll like it if you like Mayor of Easttown. This is really good. So.
Yeah, I'm from Ridley, baby. That's it.
Yeah. All right. What's the score going to be on Sunday?
I think it's going to be low scoring. I think not going to see the Giants Cowboys shootout that we saw. I think the Chiefs, as they get their sea legs under us, I think it's going to be 21-17 Chiefs. And I think the Giants will be able to keep that spread a little bit close with what Russell Wilson's doing. But I think the 21-17 Chiefs.
Yeah, you know what? As long as the Chiefs win, I don't care what the score is. I don't care if they cover. Just win. Hey, congratulations. Good luck on the wedding, Joe, and we will talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a great one. Good luck.
That's Joe Valerio. Did Joe say smacked ass? Is that what he said? Was that
smacked ass?
Yeah, I like that. Like that should be a drop on the show now. I don't know. Have you watched?
Yeah, I watched both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Oh, it's phenomenal.
It's really good, isn't it?
A lot of action in that last episode.
It's really good.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Not quite a feel-good.
No, it's not really uplifting, but
it's so well done, though.
It's drama-filled and
Task on HBO.
I felt like I needed a cigarette after that last episode. A lot of stress.
Whoa. Easy there.
I didn't have a cigarette.
Wow.
Just saying. It's been a long time since I banged on some heaters.
Oh, there it is. On that note, we'll take a break. Back after this on WHP. What's up, Kansas City? Stephen St. John here from my friends at Custom Lawn and Landscape. You've heard me talking about Custom Lawn and Landscape doing such fabulous work at my house, and they can do the same for you anywhere, even in the Northland where I'm at. You know what? They're working with some of my neighbors, too, and they're happy as well. Let me tell you something. You can do more in the fall to help your lawn than any other time of the year. And Custom Lawn, they can be your go-to guys just like they're my go-to guys. Late summer and early fall, that's the best time to seed your lawn. But you've got a lot of things you could do. You know, you could get confused whether you should power rake or verticut, aerate, seed. What type of seed do you use? Do you need to fertilize when you seed? I don't know any of it. That's why I rely on Custom Lawn and Landscape. Their lawn renovation packages include 3 follow-up visits throughout the fall to make sure your investment is working the way it should. Make the call today to Custom Lawn and Landscape and let Custom Lawn take all the guesswork out of your fall lawn renovation work. You can check them out online at customlawn.com or just give them a call at 913-782-8315. 913-782-8315. Custom Lawn and Landscape, and tell them SSJ sent you.
Frosty the Snowman was a jolly happy soul with a corncob pipe and a button nose and 2 eyes made out of coal. Frosty. Frosty the Snowman was a jolly... Frosty. Frosty. I'll be home for Christmas. You can I'll be home.
Welcome back to New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810. Radio. Yeah, I keep mimicking their accent while watching it, and Susan tells me to shut up. I can't help it.
Well, I ripped through the Mayor of Easttown last weekend, like all 7
You need to
episodes.
chill out, dude.
Well, at the end of the last one, they had like the making of it, and you know, they had like a special speech pathologist come in and work with them all, and they specifically talked about the uniqueness of that accent.
What else did you miss when you were gone? I can't believe you missed that show. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I didn't even know that show existed.
Oh, that's a great show.
Oh, phenomenal. Loved it. I mean, loved every second of it.
Task is good, man.
Yeah. Yep, it's like that same universe too. Like the same area of the country, just a suburb outside of Philly. Delco County, as you mentioned.
Right. Delaware County, Delco.
Yeah. Used to be a really good, I'm sure there still is, really good soccer team out of that area. They're called FC Delco.
Now, when the one priest brought over, he said, I got pork sandwiches with peppers, hot peppers, and lots of horseradish. I'm thinking, give me that bag right now. I wanted to reach through that screen, and that sounded so damn good. So, there's your, and again, it's dark, it's violent.
Right.
You know,
Not uplifting.
like I would not recommend that show to Nate.
Probably not.
That would ruffle Nate's feathers.
Yeah.
I recommend that show to you because you have no feathers.
My feathers have all been plucked.
Yeah, we plucked your feathers a long time ago.
Feathers.
You're bare-assed in there.
My feathers are plucked.
We got Buster Olney coming up to talk baseball. Adam Kaplan will talk NFL. Gary Dieter and Anthony Sherman will talk about God knows what. John Price will tell you how hopefully you can win some money this weekend. And then Jesse Newell from The Athletic will break down the Chiefs, tell us what he thinks about Xavier Worthy and Jalen Royals get some action at practice. Will Warner both play against the Giants? Sure would be nice. We'll be right back after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Stephen St. John.
What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Oh, that's a nice headlock, sir.
You are listening to A New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
What's up, Kansas City? Stephen St. John here for QC Kinetics. And if you have been dealing with joint pain and that has been preventing you from doing the things that you want in life, from being more active, then you need to see my friends at QC Kinetics. My wife visited QC Kinetics because of some pain that she was dealing with in her elbow and in her wrist, and she's very happy with the results. And you could be happy with the results too. QC Kinetics, they use regenerative medicine, advanced cellular treatments that help your body heal and restore the damage in your joints. Not cover it up, not cut it out, actually helping heal and restore, and the results, long-term lasting relief. QC Kinetics, no surgery, no drugs, no long recovery, just a smarter, natural way to get your freedom back. Bring your MRI, your x-rays, and they'll make sure you're a good candidate. Your first consultation is free, so there's no reason to wait. Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. They're located off 435 in State Line and also in Gladstone. And they have appointments available on Saturdays. 816-412-6299, QC Kinetics.